Well, hello and welcome to Chem 305, summer of 2021. As you know, our course is asynchronous, which means we do not have any regularly scheduled meetings. It's all done remotely at different times. But I wanted to kind of start off with a live stream to kind of say hello, kind of introduce you to me, get kind of orient you to some different facets of the course, some things you may or may not be aware of. Hopefully, everybody has read the syllabus, but I also know that when I was a student, I rarely read the syllabus. I would only pay attention to the exam dates and stuff. But there are some things in there that that when the instructor would first day of class point out, that would be useful to me. So this is kind of my attempt to do just that. So, all right. So, I'm going to go over. I'm not going to read the syllabus to you. You should look that over on your own. But I'm going to highlight some key features, and hopefully you'll find it helpful. Let's see. All right. Also, if you have any questions, the chat is live too, so you can pop questions into there. I will answer them. You know the drill. All right, so the first, so this is a chemistry class, right? Chem 305, and so this is a introductory course. The only prereq for this course is Math 100, which I've included the description for the prerequisite course in the syllabus, and the prereq is, whoops, let's get a live page here. The prerequisite for this course is essentially just algebra. All right, and so if you are a person who struggles with algebra, or maybe it's been a few years since you've taken a math class and you're a little rusty, I cannot emphasize enough your need to review. So there's a prerequisite exam, which is due, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah. So there's a prerequisite exam. It's open right now. You can go in there and take it. It closes tomorrow. And it is just on algebra. It is the the prerequisite exam is on the topics outlined in the Math 100 course description. And again, I can't emphasize enough. You need to be comfortable with algebra to do well in this course. All right. If you feel that your math skills are not up to date, you either need to do two things. One, give yourself a crash course, like review, hit up Khan Academy, do a bunch of practice, get comfortable with it, and then take it. Or you may want to delay taking Chem 305 till you are adept with algebra. Okay, what is the format of the Pre-Req exam? Audrey, great question. There are so for the Pre-Req. Here, let's open a new slide. All right. For the Pre-Req exam, there are multiple choice. And numerical entry. problems. So there are some problems where you know, it's multiple choice. You're given a problem. You got to pick the right one out of, you know, so many options. There are other ones where you actually have to calculate, like solve for x, find the value, and then enter it. So that's kind of the format. As far as the more specific, let me, actually, I can tell you how many problems it is, how long it is. Let me just pop into Canvas here. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm loading the exam settings. So the Pre-Req exam has, you'll have 36 minutes. To take it. There are 18 problems. So that's kind of the format. It's not very long. Like I said, 18 problems. It's about 2 minutes a problem. If you're familiar with algebra, if you're comfortable with algebra, it'll be fine. The topics covered. It's you know, there's solving for x. There's systems of equations, radicals. Here, let me. So again, for the Pre-Req exam. So topics covered. You have to deal with integer exponents. You have to be able to solve for x. You have to be able to evaluate radicals. You have to be able to solve systems of linear equations. You have to be able to factor polynomials. And you have to be able to solve polynomials. Solve polynomial expressions for x. All right, and that is, so that's a Pre-Req exam. So if you're rusty on these things, this is what you should focus on. Okay, so question. Are you asking about showing your work on the exam? Um, is my question that I need you to answer so I can solve your question. Yes. Okay. You don't have to show your work on the exam. Your answer is right or wrong, and it's full credit. Each question is worth one. Um, it's equal value. Um, so yeah, there's no partial credit. You get it right or you get it wrong, and score points based on your answer. Which is different than how I do classes when I'm teaching in person. Um, when I'm teaching in person, there's problems where there's long word problems you solve and show your work. But with distance education, you kind of have to change your format to fit what Canvas is capable of handling. So it's all or nothing on every question. Great question though. All right. So again, the Pre-Req exam, and this part is important. It is for every assignment, and actually this is true for every assignment in this class. Every assignment opens at 12 a.m. On the opening date. So it opened at 12 a.m. this morning. The pre-req exam opens on the 8th, closes on the 9th, and it closes when it closes at 11:59 p.m. on its closing date. All right, and this is the case for every assignment, whether it's a lab quiz or an exam or the syllabus quiz, for example. Every single assignment opens at 12 a.m. on the opening date, closes at 11:59 on the closing date. I've run into classes where, when I was a student, where a professor would have varying things would be due at midnight, or this one's due at 12 or 12 p.m., or this one was due at 10 p.m., and I thought I had till midnight. They're all the same. Opens at 12 a.m., closes at 11:59 p.m. Now, if you're looking to game the system, this is something that where students in my courses have been burned in the past. And if you get burned, you're out of luck. So the pre-req exam, for example, you have 36 minutes to take it. All right? If you start the pre-req exam at 11:55 p.m. Right? This is something that I actually had a student try. Even though I whenever I do a course intro, I warn against this. I had someone try it. They got burned by it. You've got 36 minutes to take the pre-req exam, right? If you start at 11:55 p.m., then you will have 4 minutes to take the exam. No matter when you start it, the exam will close at 11:59. So, the mindset is like, well, if I wait to the very end to start it, then I get 36 minutes beyond. That'll give me more time to study. It doesn't. It just gives you less time to take the test. So with every timed assignment in this class, make sure that you start it with enough time to finish it. That means you've got 36 minutes to take the pre-req exam. If you want to use the full 36 minutes, then you must begin 36 minutes before 11:59, 36 minutes before it closes. All right. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You're not getting more study time. You're just shortening your exam time. If you start it with if there's less time between when you started and when it closes, then you have to take the test, then you just have less time to take it. So I do not recommend doing that. I definitely recommend starting with plenty of time to go. All right, let's talk about required materials. Technically there's more than this, but really there's only the one thing that you need in this class. Is you need a device that can device and internet. That can access YouTube, Canvas, email, and Discord if you want to hang out. That is what you need for this class. If you don't, then you won't be able to take it. It's distance. All of our lectures are on YouTube. Office hours will be hosted like I am doing right now on YouTube. Canvas is where all of our assignments are hosted, so you got to be able to access that. Email is how you talk to me. Discord is how you get help from me and your fellow classmates. It's kind of our community. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. I also recommend having a calculator. You can use a software calculator. You can use one in your computer. I'm old, so I like having one with buttons because it's just, faster for me. But I recommend having one. You're free to use any type. The textbook. Which you can look that up in the syllabus. The specific textbook is listed there. It is there if you want it. I will be assigning. So a lot of students have asked about the textbook. It's helpful if reading is part of how you learn. If that is part of your study flow, you definitely want it. I also assign practice homework problems. They're not assigned. They're not graded, but they provide extra help and preparation for the exams. I assign those out of the textbook, so if you want access to those, you're going to want to access the textbook in some way. I've had students ask, should we do physical or digital? There's no free version of it, so however you choose to do it. I know that you can rent a PDF, you could buy a PDF, you could rent a physical book, you can buy a physical book. However you want to get your hands on it is up to you. But and whether it would be helpful to you is also up to you. Even if you're not a reading person, having access to the problems would be recommended. But again, there are other sources of problems. These are just the ones that I'm assigning out of. All right. So that's a little bit about materials. Again, the one critical thing is you need to be able to access Canvas for all the assignments, and YouTube and email. All right, so let's talk about the things that you need to do. Let's see, I'm going to call this section don't get dropped. So between the wait list and students who have contacted me who are attempting to crash the class, there's about 20 people who want to get in to this class who are not able to at this moment in time. As a result, there are 2 hard requirements for everybody. I need to make sure that everybody who's enrolled is actually engaged in the class, is aware of deadlines, and is actively participating. It's a tall order when you're dealing with a synchronous class. So, when classes meet in person, I take roll. I take attendance the first day. If you're not present, I drop you, and I give your spot away to a waitlisted student. There is no attendance. There is no roll in an asynchronous course. So this is how I run things. There is a syllabus quiz. It is a quiz at the end of the syllabus. You need to fill it out and submit it to Canvas if you're enrolled. And it is due today. All right, it is due at 11:59 p.m. tonight. If you miss it, if you submit it a minute late, even, if you're late for this, I'm going to drop you and give your spot away to a waitlisted student who filled out the syllabus quiz and turned it into me on time. If you are waitlisted and are right now and are watching the stream and you want you want a chance to fill it out and enroll in the class, email me. My email is let's see, I'll just drop it right here. Here, let me do this. If you are waitlisted, or if you're waitlisted, you already got the email. If you are crashing, email me. And my email is cholopij@flc.edu. No, sorry, .losrios.edu. And I'll send you a copy of the syllabus, so you can fill out the syllabus quiz. The second thing that you need to fill out this week is you need to complete the lab safety quiz and waiver. Both of these are in Canvas. Both of these are due this week. I believe they're due, Friday. They're due this Friday. Again, like all things, at 11:59 p.m. So that is, those are the 2 things that you need to do this week, or you will be dropped. They're not the only 2 things you need to do this week, because it's summer and summer is crazy. But if you miss either of these, or you are late on either of these, your spot is going to be given away to a student who already has turned theirs in on time. All right. So that is, I can't stress that enough. You can do that if you choose to turn in a picture. So you can do it as a PDF if you can edit a PDF. You can always print it out and fill it out on paper. But if you choose to take a picture. So you shouldn't just submit a picture, like a crappy cell phone picture. You should use Adobe Scan, which is a free app, or you can use any free scanner app that can take a high-res scan using your phone. You don't have to own a scanner, but there are plenty of free apps that do high-res photos. That's a totally acceptable way. The one thing to note, though, is you will have to submit it as a PDF at the end. All submissions in this class need to be in the PDF format. And that's Canvas won't let you upload another type. It only takes PDF submissions on purpose. All right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about lecture. So lecture is the entire semester's lecture is available to you right now. They're all on YouTube. Under the channel playlist, I think it's titled Chem. 305. Lecture. All right, so you can watch them all now. Let's see. So that is only okay. So the question was, what about using a camera to take a picture and then put it into a PDF? That's only okay if you're using a scanner app. So that's the thing I'm stressing. You need to use a scanner app if you're using your phone's camera, because just taking a picture of the piece of paper, it's very low quality. It's not professional, and honestly, you wouldn't believe the types of how low res things get. Scanning apps are free. Again, you can use Adobe Scan. There's a million other free scanning apps out there. But don't just take a picture. Use a scanner app so that it will be presented in a clean, high-resolution version. And that goes for, all of the... Yeah, that's totally solid. Totally solid. You can use Google Docs, turn it into a PDF. Totally fine. All right, so lecture. All of our lectures are on YouTube right now, the entire session's worth. These were recorded last year, so last summer 2020 was when our lectures were recorded. So one thing to be aware of, because they were recorded last year, which means that all references to due dates and assignments don't apply. All right. The due dates, obviously, if I'm like, so it's going to happen on, you'll have an exam on June 14th. That was last year. You don't necessarily have an assignment on June 14th or an exam on June 14th this year. You need to look at our specific syllabus and Canvas page for all due dates and assignment information. The other thing that the reason why references to the assignments don't apply is I've changed some of them. There were some exams that where too much time was given, some exams where too little time was given. So I've altered the assignments from last summer to this summer. So if I say anything about those referenced to last summer, it does not necessarily apply here. Again, always consult the syllabus and our current Canvas page for relevant information concerning due dates and assignments. All of the content in lecture about chapters, all of that stuff, all of the chemistry is relevant, but the logistics are for our class that took place in the past. So that's something that you should be aware of. The last thing that you need to be aware of with lecture is pacing. Summer is a brutal pace. We'll be talking a little bit more about this in a moment. But first off, during the regular semester, lecture meets twice a week. Summer is doubled, right? We are doing 16 weeks of work in 8 weeks. So that means that you should watch 4 lectures a week. It's actually slightly less than that, but if you want to stay on pace, you want to be hitting 4 lectures a week. Again, look at the schedule and the syllabus to make sure you're staying on pace. All right, so that'll make sure you're not falling behind. But you should have it in your mind that you need to watch 4 lectures each week in order to stay on track. And the reason why this is critical is because you have an exam every other week. You got an exam this week, next week's off. You got an exam the following week. Those dates do not change. And you need to stay on pace with lecture to make sure that you're not falling behind, that you actually have seen the material and are able to solve the problems presented on the exam. All right, let's talk let's talk about office hours. So Wednesday mornings right now is when we're holding office hours. I will be live streaming here right now like I am. So Wednesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Each week. I'll be hosting office hours. I'll be here. You can pop by, ask me questions. If you are not a morning person, I know not everybody is, and you have questions that you want to ask in office hours, you can email questions in, and I will answer them. So then you can later get the answer while you're awake. If you are not attending live and you're emailing your questions in, there are two things you need to do. First, the subject of your email should read Chem 305 office hours. I get tons of emails all the time. I teach at 3 different colleges, so I have multiple email accounts. It is very easy for an email to slip through the cracks, but what I do before office hours is I go to my email, my FSC email, and I search Chem 305, office hours. And if your question has that in the subject line, I will see it. I won't miss it. I'll be able to answer it. So that's the first thing. You got to throw that in the subject line. Second thing you should do is include a picture of the problem. In your email, attach a picture of the problem that you're asking about, whether it's from the book or take a screenshot if it's from Canvas. That way I have the context to what you're asking. Some chemistry problems are fine to type them out, like over email. Some don't translate very well. And so if you include a picture of the indigenous problem or the problem in its indigenous context, I'll be able to understand what you're asking, know how to solve it, and work it for you, so you'll be able to see. I am only holding right now 1 office hour a week. That's mostly because in the past I've held like a lot of office hours, and they're rarely attended. And by attended I mean either people live or humans sending in emails. If I find that and I hope this is the case. I miss student engagement. I miss hanging out with you guys. I miss interacting as humans instead of digital ghosts, as we have to do right now. And so if I find that that the 1 office hour a week is too booked, either with humans who are present in the live chat asking questions, or too many questions over email to be able to sort through and answer, I may expand this. So this is not our only shot at office hours, but in the past, what I did is I put out a ton of office hours, and what ended up happening is sometimes people would show up, most of the time they wouldn't, and so I'd just be literally sitting here like this. For like an hour. And I don't know. What would be weird is, I'd see in YouTube like, oh, someone's watching this, or oh, 2 people are watching this. I have no idea who. They're not talking to me. I can't see who they are. So I just want to be efficient with my time. And so anyways, I'm totally open to expanding it if office hours are in high demand. That would actually be awesome. That would be awesome. One last thing about office hours. This time, this may change. This may change in the future, mostly because my wife is 8 months pregnant. We have a baby that is due in a month, and I don't know what having a newborn will do to our schedule, because we also have a 3-year-old. So right now this kind of fits with everybody's thing, but I might have to adjust it later in the summer session. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that may not be a static thing. So we might have to flex on that in the future. Okay, so let's talk about the format of lab in this class. Mm. So there are no live lectures in this class. Only office hours is live. All the lectures have been pre-recorded, so you should start watching them, because you have 4 to watch and absorb this week, right? But I do. Um, So there are no live lectures, but I am holding office hours at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Every Friday from 8 to 9, not Friday, every Wednesday of the summer session from 8 to 9, I'll be hosting live office hours. With the exception of next week, actually. I'm not going to be able to do it because I won't have internet access. Or I won't have the kind of internet, I'll have limited internet access. I won't have the kind where I can stream. So next week I'm probably going to, and I'll post an announcement about this. I think I'm going to bump office hours to Saturday because I won't be able to do them Wednesday. But yeah, with the exception of next week and possibly when the baby is born, every Wednesday. All right, let's talk about lab. So this is the structure for lab for Chem 305. There is a video of FLC, faculty, performing the experiment. All right. For every single lab experiment that we do this semester, we'll be accomplishing 10 of them. There's a video of FLC faculty performing the experiment. You need to both watch the experiment and record relevant data on the lab exercise. All right, so you watch the video, record your data and observations. Something to note. Additional data will be provided. For some experiments. And then so for each, so that's kind of the format. You know, and it's less than ideal, but it's the best that we have to go with, and or I should say the best free version that we had to go with. It didn't require us to buy software or anything like that. So, you know, it's free to you, and it is what it is. I realize it's less than ideal, but you watch the experiment, you record any relevant data on the lab exercise. Sometimes additional data is provided for some of these experiments, and then there's so. Oh, there goes my lab. So there's nope. Let's go. So you're doing a total of 10 experiments this summer session, which when you think about it, there's 8 weeks. So that means there's more than one experiment. Some weeks we'll have 2 experiments due. Some will have 1. Again, watch the syllabus, watch Canvas, make sure you don't miss your deadlines. So for every lab, there is, hang on, let me actually pull it up. There we go. So for each experiment, so all information is contained on the lab page, which you'll be able to find under modules. All right, I've broken down this, the way I've kind of organized our class is into modules. And there's a week 1 module, week 2, week 3, week 1 through week 8, right? Module. And in each module, I have the things that are due, the things you should be working on, and that includes the lab pages. So the first experiment is called Lab Experiment 1+2. We've kind of condensed 2 into 1, and what you do is you click on that lab page in Canvas, and it'll tell you, watch this video, record your observations on lab exercise 1, and then it gives you a download link. It tells you number 2. So all information is contained on each lab page. You'll find those in the modules. You can also find them all listed under pages in Canvas. You can directly access them there. And then there is, so you want to watch / read. Videos and background info. Sometimes there's background information given. And then every lab experiment there's 2 assignments, all right? There are 2 assignments for every lab experiment. There is, these are the things that you have to turn in that are due. There is what's called the lab exercise. The lab exercise and the lab quiz. The lab exercise is that paper that you fill out. It's observations and calculations, like it's handwritten. I hand grade them. And then the lab quiz is timed. They're typically like 30 minutes. I think they're all 30 minutes, actually. But there's the specific information about each lab quiz is on each lab page. So for every experiment, there's 2 components that your grade is attached to. The first is the lab exercise, which is kind of like that handwritten calculation part. The second is the lab quiz, which is a timed, quiz that's 30 minutes, 8 to 9 problems. And every lab is worth 10 points. 5 points are the exercise, 5 points are the quiz. So that's kind of how those two things are structured. All right. Something that well, I'll get there in a second. First, let's talk about late and dropped assignments. Um, no assignments are dropped. In this class. Late assignments are not accepted. Late assignments earn 0 points. Something you should know, and this has confused students in the past, Canvas allows you to submit things late because some professors have accept late assignments. I do not. If you are 1 minute late, you will get a 0 on that assignment. It doesn't matter. That is why I recommend to everyone turn everything in. One hour early. Don't wait till the last minute, and here's why. The internet has made no promise to you to work during your time of most desperate need. All right? It hasn't. Your internet could go down and you can't access it, and then, if it's late, you get a 0. This is why you should turn things in an hour early, because let's say you go to turn things in, and it's an hour before things close, before the assignment closes. Your internet's not working, it's not uploading, it's not submitting. You have enough time to drive somewhere, to find a Wi-Fi spot, to solve the problem, to get it in on time. If you're doing it at 11:58 and something goes wrong with your internet, you're out of luck. And it's on you. It is your fault for waiting for the last minute. All right. So there's 0 tolerance for late assignments in this class. It's on time or you get a 0. That's the way it is. It's in the syllabus. I'm telling you up front. If you're a minute late, you earn a 0. So please, 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 I'm begging you, don't make me enforce this policy, but I will. I will every single time. All right. Enough with the heavy stuff. So let's talk about so there's I'm not going to get into grades. It's in the syllabus. There is so the only thing I'll say briefly about grades. There are 400 points in this class. Your letter grade is determined by your percentage, your overall percentage of points scored. So an A is 90% to 100. B is 80 to 89%. C is 70 to 79%. D is 60 to 69%. And F is 59% or less. All right, so however many points you earn divided by 100 or divided by 4 out of 400, that percentage determines your letter grade. If you want to see the specific percentage of letter grades, so these are, you've got lab exercises, lab quizzes, exams, the syllabus quiz, which is worth 10 points, and it's not right or wrong. You do it, you get 10 free points. And there is homework, and I'd like to spend a moment talking about Canvas homework, or just homework in general, actually. So Canvas homework is so there's 8 homework sets. They're 15 points each. And homework actually represents 30% of your letter grade. All right, so that's actually a decent chunk of your letter grade is just these homework sets. The thing is, these homework sets are beginner level. They're the start of studying, but they do not prepare you for the difficulty of the exam. All right? The difficulty of these are like the bare minimum. And I'm giving you 30% of your grade for just doing the bare minimum for the beginning of study. But if you only do the homework, there's an email type that I get often where a student will complain after taking exam 1 going like, I did all the homework and I got it, but I got murdered on the exam. How's that fair? I'm giving you points for the very easiest types of problems. That's me being nice. That's me trying to give you, like, throw you a bone. But if you want to prepare for the exam, you need to do the textbook homework problems. All right. You can find the textbook homework. These are problems that are assigned at the end of each chapter. You can download them, the problems that I've assigned, not the actual problems themselves. You need a textbook for that. But you can download them from files. In Canvas. You'll find a PDF that says Chem 305 homework. There are no points assigned for the textbook problems, but these are harder. Some of them are easy, but there's a level of problems, a gradation of problems that are harder than the ones presented in the Canvas homework, and these will help you prepare for the exam. So you should not be lulled into a false sense of security of thinking like, oh, I did the Canvas homework and I'm good, I'm fine, because the Canvas homework by itself will not get you ready for the test. It's how you start, but it's not full metal difficulty. The other thing about the Canvas homework is it starts. Oh, sorry. The other thing about the exams that you need to be aware of is on the test there are going to be problems that you've never done before. On the exam, I'm not testing your ability to copy a problem type that you saw me do in lecture or that you did in the homework. I'm testing, do you understand the concepts presented and can you apply those in ways that you never have before? So there will be problems on the test that you've never done before, but that's me testing your understanding, not your ability to just copy, paste. All right, let's talk about the time requirement of this course. Because I believe this catches a lot of people by surprise. Summer has a grueling pace. It is blistering fast, but it'll also feel overwhelming. All right, so when you think about 1 week of class, if classes were meeting in person, there'd be 4 lectures and 2 labs. That's approximately 6 hours of lecture and 6 hours of lab each week. So in 1 week of a normal summer session of Chem 305, you'll have 6 hours of lecture, and you'd be in lab for 6 hours. All right, that's each week. Now, as a general rule of thumb, you look up anywhere on the internet. If you're trying to find how much time should I spend studying outside of class for the time I've spent in class, general rule of thumb, you should spend 2 to 3 hours studying outside of class for every hour spent in class. So listen, in addition to the 12 hours between lecture and lab, that means that you should spend 24 to 36 hours a week studying. All right. That's 3 to 5 hours a day that you should be spending studying the material. That's not 3 to 5 hours a day minus the time you spent to watch lecture. That's in addition to the time you spent watching lecture. All right. It is incredibly hard to succeed in a chemistry class during the summer session for this reason, because most of us have jobs, many of us have families, some of us have kids, some of us have lives, believe it or not. And it's a very, very hard thing to balance a course with this aggressive pace and manage the other parts of your life. And so you should take a realistic look and ask, can my life support this amount of daily commitment? Everybody's different. Everybody needs a different amount of time to absorb, process, and integrate the material. So some people need less, some people need more. But what I can tell you is by the end of the summer session, there's usually a handful of angry humans who, for whatever reason, either haven't committed or haven't been able to commit this amount of time to the class, and then they're struggling or they're not getting the grade that they want. And I get a very common email theme is, I am working so hard, I deserve better. And here's the thing, working hard doesn't equal understanding chemistry. And your grade will reflect your understanding of chemistry. Only you can know if you have the time, only to give yourself to learn this stuff. Some people roll the dice. Some people are angry at the results. I just want to give you a realistic picture of what it takes to succeed in this class. All right. Let's see. We're almost done here. It's been about an hour. We'll go a little bit beyond. But one thing that I want to first actually, if you qualify for DSPS, testing accommodations, I need you to email me. Email me your accommodation letter. ASAP. I'm actually legally not allowed to do it if I don't have an accommodation letter. So if you email me and you're like, I qualify for DSPS, I can't do it unless you get me the official accommodation letter from them. Get it to me ASAP. I can program that into Canvas. Everything will be solid. But you got to get it to me. If I don't have the official one, I can't grant you accommodations. And I want to make sure that if you do qualify, that you have the accommodations that you deserve. So Will, here's the thing. So the thing is, all the assignments are open. The one thing that you will have to figure out is the exams. The exam open and close dates do not change. So check the syllabus. Make sure that that you have access during exam open and close dates, that you'll be able to take it. But everything else in this class, from the lab assignments to the homework, are all open. You can do them whenever. So you could totally get 2 weeks of worth of work done, because all of the lectures are available, all of the assignments are available. So look at everything in the week 1 and week 2 modules. The only thing that can't change are exam dates. So make sure you have access for those. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, so, oh, sorry about that. Let me, okay, sorry. I think someone left their phone in the room and it started going off. All right, where we talked about time. Oh, something you should know. So as far as getting help, I have office hours every week, and I am the best source of help. I'm not bragging or anything, but I am the brain that writes your exams. So if you want help from the same human who is writing the thing that you're gonna have to take, like you get access. If you can't make them live, hit me with emails and I can still respond. FLC has digital tutoring. So hit up their online tutoring. We have excellent tutors who did well in this class and other chemistry classes, so they can definitely help you. Khan Academy is awesome. There's just there are tons of resources, but I don't know that every student is aware that Folsom Lake has tutoring. The tutoring centers remained online throughout the entire COVID thing, and it's free for you to use. So I totally recommend hitting up them for help as well. Okay, the last thing I want to mention is Discord. So, and I posted a little bit about this earlier, and several of you have already joined the Discord, which is awesome. Um, I kind of use Discord as that kind of gathering community space. It is, um, uh, you know, it's a way where we can all kind of interact. You can interact with me. I will definitely be in there, but I don't live on Discord. But I'll definitely be popping in and out. I've had several pleasant interactions with a few of you up there. But it's also a place for you to connect with each other. The reality is that all the channels are organized. The channels are organized by assignment. So like right now we've been mostly like hanging out, talking in like the general feed, but I highly recommend if you're like wrestling with like homework number 2 on Canvas, hit up the homework 2 channel and start the conversation there because one, other students who are struggling with homework 2 can meet you there and you can get involved in the conversation. But 2, you might go into that channel and find that, oh wait, someone else was struggling with this and has already answered my question. So it's like a great way if you follow like the organization and the structure of the server. It makes you finding the answer to your question. It makes that pathway so much shorter. It makes it happen so much faster. So they're all organized by assignments. So there's for every single lab, for every single homework, and for every single chapter and lecture. If you're like, oh, you did this problem on in chapter 2 and I'm like really not understanding it or whatever, you can also hit up the lecture channels as well. In addition, it has a Harry Potter theme, and you'll notice in the syllabus quiz I asked in the fun section what your favorite House of Harry Potter is. I will assign you that role in Discord based on whether you like Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. And I built exclusive channels. So there's the Great Hall, which is a voice channel, but then there's a commons for every house, which you can only enter if you are a member of that house. And then there's a bulletin board, a text channel for every house as well. So just a fun little throw in. I've been able to assign a few of you your roles, but just note, so because some of you have your Discord names are like your name. So like I could find Will because Will's name is Will, and I only have one Will in the class. So I could find him and go, okay, you're House Slytherin because that's the one you liked on the syllabus quiz. If your handle on Discord is different than your name, excuse me, let me know if your Discord handle let me know if your Discord handle is different than your name. So I can sort you into the house you want to be in. So that's just one thing that you should be aware. So if your handle like mine is crows are black, and you wouldn't know that, or I wouldn't know that because my name is Josh. So if you have a different Discord name than your name is different than your real name, let me know and I can get you into the house that you want to be in. The second thing that I want to say about Discord, which it's great. It's excellent for kind of giving us that third space. Like normally this would happen in lab, excuse me, where we're all trapped in lab. We're doing an experiment. You start talking to your neighbors. you're like, oh man, homework 4 is killing me, and someone's like, oh, what'd you get for number blah blah blah, and then it just naturally happens because we're doing a 3-hour experiment. Discord kind of provides that digital space to connect with each other. The other thing, the last thing I want to say about Discord is if you need to contact me, all right, if you need to contact me, if there's something that you got to tell me, family emergency or whatever, any of that sort of information, you must do it. You must do so through Canvas. Or email. Discord is an informal setting. It's awesome, but again, I pop in and out of there. But again, the thing to realize is I manage I admin several servers over 3 different colleges, and I can't keep up with the DMs. Or if you at me on Discord, I might see it, I might not. So if you have something that needs to be communicated, do so over Canvas, do so over email, and I will not miss it. Those are the things that I check religiously. But if you're doing it through Discord, I might see it. I also might not. And so make sure you're contacting me through a way that I for sure will see it if something happens or whatever. You need to get a hold of me. So again, informally over Discord, formally Canvas. Got to be Canvas or email. It's the only way I'm guaranteed to see it. Okay. So we've made it through pretty much everything. Are there any questions out there? Anything that I haven't addressed? Concerns you may have? We're running about an hour and 20 minutes here, which is the normal kind of lecture span. So this is a natural place to cap it. But if you're here and you're live and you have some questions, we've got a few minutes before we go. If there's just dead silence, then we'll wrap things up here. And we'll call it a day. All right. Again, don't forget the syllabus quiz is due today. Pre-Req Exam is due tomorrow. And the lab safety quiz and waiver are both due on Friday. Again, you want to be hitting 4 lectures each week. I recommend starting each week by looking at the current week's module, and next week's module. In Canvas, because that has outlined the assignments that you need to be completing each week. So modules is kind of your go-to. The syllabus also has a tentative lecture schedule. Again, each week is about 4 lectures a week. So I recommend that. I will be saving this video in the channel playlist. So it'll just be under course intro. So you'll be able to watch it. I'll also stamp the description so you can find the specific sections if you're like, what was he saying about this? What was he saying about that? You'll be able to reference it. All right, there are no questions going down, so I'm going to go ahead and call the quiz here. I'll be back 8 a.m. tomorrow for office hours. Hope to see you there or receive your email inquiries. And it's going to be a good summer. It's going to be a hard summer, but we're in it. Let's go. All right, dudes. Thanks for hanging out. I will catch